Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Fable Joey, and I am here today to talk about Resident Evil 8 Village. As many of you know, the Resident Evil 8 announcement trailer dropped today during Sony's press conference on the PlayStation 5. And I could not be more happy about this announcement because Resident Evil is actually one of my very favorite game franchises. I love Resident Evil, and whether it's more on the action side of things or the original survival horror type, I love everything. I am such a massive Resident Evil fan, and during my time in quarantine, I actually beat 8 Resident Evil games, which is really funny because I don't do that. I never really play games very fast. I'm very much a slow gamer, but when I was playing these games in quarantine, I'd beat one, and I'd either play it again or I'd play another one. I was just playing Resident Evil back to back throughout my whole time. So getting this announcement now was like a perfect time for me, and I hope it was a great time for you guys because this trailer is phenomenal, and I cannot wait to talk about it. So let's do that, starting with the music. I know that that's not really a big part of the trailer, but before we start talking about what actually happens in the trailer and whatnot, I just wanted to mention the music in this trailer was awesome. I'm such a massive fan of Resident Evil original music. Whenever I hear new music in a Resident Evil game, it's just, they do such a good job at creating this very, very, scary environment, this horror-induced environment, and part of the reason Resident Evil is so great for me is because of that atmosphere, because of that eerie music, and this trailer's music was fantastic, so I can expect that Resident Evil 8 will have some awesome music. So let's talk about the real parts of the trailer, what really matters, what we saw, and what I liked. Let's start with the environment. So Resident Evil 8 very much takes place in, obviously, a village, as the game is called, but I also was just noticing, a very European aesthetic. We have these, awesome mountains and a lot of snowy areas. I really love this environment change for this game because I think a lot of the times Resident Evil games are always set in, a big mansion or something like that. And I'm not saying that those games are bad. I obviously love Resident Evil. That's just what happens in them. But seeing this awesome environment and many shots of, these mountains and this snowy area, and from hearing rumors that the game was going to be very much revolved around some more environmental gameplay, I was super excited for this change, and to see it was really awesome. So I'm totally digging the new environment, but the biggest thing that I have to talk about is the castle. We saw the castle in a lot of shots in this trailer, and from rumors, there was rumors before the game came out that a lot of it was going to take place in a castle. I am so on board with that choice. Creepy, eerie, old castles, filled with like zombies or just Resident Evil enemies in general. I am so on board. I think that is so awesome, and it just seems like it's a great aesthetic, a great environment, a really scary area for the game to take place in. So castle, completely on board with that. Hopefully you guys thought that was awesome seeing it there. I cannot wait to play in there because the visuals in this trailer are, of course, fantastic, right? This is the new generation of gaming, the PlayStation 5. Obviously, the visuals are going to look great. From everything we saw, things look great. Face models looked really good. The environments looked incredibly scary. And honestly, I just could not be more excited with this announcement trailer and with the game in general. But let's talk about what I think is the only little bit of content that I've seen, maybe in just some comments regarding the trailer or when Capcom announced the game on places like Instagram and whatnot, and that is who the main protagonist is, which is Ethan Winters. Now, if you don't know, Ethan Winters was also the main protagonist in Resident Evil 7, so we can presume that Resident Evil 8 is a direct sequel to 7, which I am very excited about because I love Resident Evil 7, just like a lot of people. But one of the biggest complaints about Resident Evil 7 was Ethan Winters as the protagonist. Not like it ruined the game or anything, but a lot of people just didn't like Ethan. He's not a very expressive character, he hardly has any progression, and so a lot of people, thought he was very, flat, not interesting, and that was some people's problem with that game. Me personally, I really liked Ethan because Resident Evil 7 was the first experience that I played it, and I thought like, wow, this is like I'm playing in this situation. And I kind of thought that Capcom chose Ethan to be like that so we could feel like we were the ones experiencing this instead of a different character. Also, I really like Ethan because there are countless times in Resident Evil 7 where I was playing and something happened in the game and I said something out loud, and then a couple seconds later Ethan would say something identical to what I said. I always thought that was really funny and charming that Capcom took the time to, make it so Ethan's less of just a superhero. You know, there are parts in other Resident Evil games where, you know, you see a pack of zombies or whatever, and the main character's like, oh yeah, you know, I see this every day. But like Ethan's having these, you know, these crazy traumatizing things happen to him, and you know, he's a good sport about it. But there are very funny moments in Resident Evil 7 for me where I was playing and we'd say something identical. So I thought that was kind of charming. But I think Resident Evil 8 is a great chance to give Ethan some character. Maybe make us appreciate Resident Evil 7 Ethan even more. Or they'll go the same route where he's not like too big of a character and really it's just the story around him that is so important and good. But yeah, I thought I'd give my personal thoughts on Ethan returning. I think it's great. I think it's a perfect opportunity to, you know, make his character better, and I really liked him, so I can't wait for that choice again. And not just that Ethan is playable, but from the rumors, there will actually be more than one playable character in this game. Various sources have said that you play as Ethan for about 70% of the game, and then I think, and forgive me if I'm wrong, but I remember hearing something about a female character named Emily, and she was, it could be a different name, but it was something like that, and she was like 20%, and then maybe someone else for 10, so maybe even 3 playable characters, which I'm totally on board with. Anytime a Resident Evil character lets me play as one or more characters, which most Resident Evil games do, I really think that's great. So having a chance to see the perspective from 3 different people with Resident Evil Village is going to be great. So I'm totally on board if that happens. So let's get into this trailer. Just from a trailer perspective, was it a good trailer? For me, yes. I thought it was so fun, so exciting. There were so many great moments. Like I said, the music was perfect. It was eerie. It showed us just enough of these environments to get us excited, but nothing too spoilery, except for the end of the trailer, which I'll talk about in a minute. But honestly, I think it's a great reveal trailer, one of my favorite Resident Evil reveal trailers. What did you guys think about it? You can definitely tell me down below. But let's talk about the end of the trailer, which is what I wanted to talk about the most. So if you haven't played Resident Evil 7 and you want to, skip this part because I'm going to spoil kind of the ending of Resident Evil 7 and really my only problem with this trailer. And it's not really a problem, but if you haven't played Resident Evil 7, or maybe you haven't even watched the Resident Evil 8 trailer yet, go watch it first and then come back, or just skip a couple seconds because I'm going to talk about it here. So what I wanted to talk about is the very last moments in this trailer with this insane moment, which I had no idea was coming. I think one of my friends had mentioned to not read the rumors because it was something like this, but then they put it in the trailer. And I thought that was crazy, and as many of you know, I am referring to the end where presumably we see Mia get shot by Chris Redfield, and Ethan witnesses this. Now, this isn't a problem for me. This direction could totally work. The only thing, when I first saw the trailer, I was like, whoa, I was kind of stunned by it. The only reason is that it kind of felt like just a little bit of a slap to the face with all of Resident Evil 7, because Resident Evil 7, the whole time, you're saving Mia. That's the point of the game. You go to, the house to save Mia. You go, that's what the whole game's about. So seeing Mia die in this trailer, well, presumably die, we know Resident Evil, people come back, but it was crazy. I was really just baffled by this, and I'm not mad by this decision. I think it's great, but at the end of the day, I just feel bad for Ethan, man. He went through all that trouble in Resident Evil 7, and now this is happening in 8. Honestly, one of the best parts of the trailer. Not saying it's a bad part of the trailer. So if you skipped forward and you just saw this now, it wasn't like a bad part. I wasn't mad about that thing that happened. I was very surprised, and honestly, I'm just so excited to see where it goes. So just to kind of wrap things up, I love this trailer. I thought it was so great. It did everything so perfectly. Like I said, it didn't show me too much to the point where I was like, oh, I wish I didn't see that. And it didn't show me too little where I was like, oh, I still don't really know what the game's about, which I don't, but I have a pretty good idea. I love what they're doing with this. I love the darker direction, and according to the rumors and stuff, Resident Evil 8 is supposed to be, the darkest entry in the series yet, the most gruesome, the most shocking, and I can definitely see that with this trailer. All in all, I am so excited for this game. I am so excited for the PlayStation 5. What are you guys thinking? What are your thoughts on the Resident Evil 8 trailer? Did you like it? Did you maybe not like it? Tell me why. Are you a big fan of Resident Evil? You can look forward. I'm actually going to have 2 new Resident Evil videos coming out very soon that I'm excited about, and maybe I'll talk more about Resident Evil 8 in the future. But honestly, I just want to hear your guys' opinions. What did you think of the trailer? And, what was your favorite thing, maybe? But, yeah, all in all, trailer's fantastic. I could not be more excited for Resident Evil 8. It looks like it has a fantastic environment, such a good atmosphere and a tone that is so dark, and I am so excited to play this game. Not to mention the visuals. They look incredible. So what did you guys think? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.